Howdy y'all, so we are back for part 2 of our review of these learn to crochet kits. So just to recap, we are going to compare the kind of brand standard, which is the Woobles kit, to some of these off-brand or generic kits that are available from services like Amazon. So each of the kits that I have here does have, I think all of them does have multiple projects in it. We're only going to do one project for each of the kits for the purposes of comparing, and we are going to compare it with the Woobles. Of course, my dog decided to wake up now. Hello, Squiggy. We are going to compare all of those with the Raccoon Woobles. If you remember from the first video, I do have some Harry Potter Woobles that I will be doing, but I have some off-brand branded kits on the way, so we're going to compare with that. So for the purposes of this, we're going to do Raccoon versus the White Cat on this one, because I don't want to crochet the Black Cat yet. That sounds a little too tedious for my taste. I will probably do the Frog for this kit here. Then gotta stretch, sorry. For this kit, I think I'm gonna do the Bee, because he's super cute. And then the blue kit back here, whoops, that fell down. The blue kit back here, this one's a set of dinosaurs, and I'm going to do a Triceratops. So that's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna do each kit. This video, we're going to start the kits and just see how that startup process works. And that's probably where we'll end this video, because I'm trying not to make my videos too long. And then I will come back with a final video that shows each of the projects completed and a recap of positives, negatives, and all that kind of thing. So let's start with the Woobles, which is such a silly word. I am going to turn my camera down now so you can see kind of what's happening down here. Hope that's not too wiggly and didn't make anyone nauseous. All right, so we have our Woobles kit. Now, if you remember correctly, that sounded a little aggressive, didn't it? If you remember from the first video, the Woobles kit is the only kit that does not come with printed instructions. It comes with a video. Now, I'm not going to put the video on screen, but I am going to try and pull up the video in just a minute. I have a card here that has a link on the back. So I'm going to pull that video up in just a minute so that I can follow the instructions as they are listed. And you know what? I'm going to transfer all my little bits into that wee woobly bits container that I got, because I think it will be easier to keep track of this than it will be to keep track of this. So set that aside. I'm going to put my stuffing back in, because obviously we're not going to need that to start. I'm going to put these pieces back in. And the reason why I know to put those pieces back in is because I can see that we do have a little started magic ring on this brown. So we will go with that. One thing I'm noticing right off the bat before I've even pulled up a video or anything else is that, does anyone else see the problem here? The yarn is being worked from the outside of the ball. This is such an inconvenient way to teach someone to crochet. We want to do those center pulls, because the center pulls means your yarn's you're not chasing your yarn around. It's going to flow smoother as you're working. So it's a small thing for sure, but starting when you have a ball like this that should center pull okay, there's no reason to start it from the outside. So small little thing, but definitely worth noting. I'm gonna go grab my laptop. I will be right back. All right, sorry for that. Had to go grab my laptop, and then I decided to watch the first few videos. I'll be following the instructions that were in the video, but that way I don't have to worry about muting the sound from the video when I'm editing this. So essentially what our second row is going to be, which this kit does come with a started magic circle. And I will say this about the instructions. The instructions did not give you the opportunity to learn how to do the magic circle, at least the instructions for this kit. So I think that's a downside because I'm learning how to crochet, but I don't know how to start it, which is a little bit disappointing. I like the idea that they have it started for you on your first one, but I think including the instructions in the video tutorials would be helpful for someone who is trying to learn this as a skill. But for people like us, or people like me, I should say, hopefully you're looking at this because crochet is something you want to do. It is, learning the magic circle is not difficult. If you are hoping to learn how to crochet and you've purchased and you're looking at kits to purchase, if you do get one of these pre-started kits and it doesn't give you instructions on how to start your second project, all you have to do is look up videos on YouTube for magic circle. Maybe I'll do one soon as well. And if I do, I'll come back and link it in here. But yeah, so that is something to do to learn how to start your projects. The instructions did break down, as it explained different information. It did break down how the stitch abbreviation is going to appear in a pattern, which I thought was very helpful. And it had it written out on the screen, also very helpful. Excuse me, last but not least, it did go through steps on how to hold the yarn, how to hold your hook, and what they are referring to as crochet position, which is the position to start crocheting. Now, I will say I've never heard it called crochet position before, but it's just as good a name as anything. And it could just be that it's not something that I've heard before. I will also add, in case there are beginners watching this, that one thing I am not doing is holding my yarn the way they describe in the videos, in the tutorials, or the way that any directions are going to describe. I am obsessed right now with these little crochet rings to hold yarn. You can find them super cheap pretty much anywhere. I think I got like 6 for $12 or something ridiculous like that, 6 or 10 for $6. I don't know. I don't even remember. On Amazon, you just search crochet rings. You'll find a couple different options and styles. This one, it's supposed to look like a peacock, but between the yarn, my not so slender fingers, and just kind of the cheap nature of these types of rings, I'm not sure that it's reading on camera, but they work great. So, okay. So the first, it comes with, I'm sorry, I keep bumping my camera. It comes with a pre-started 6 single crochet circle. We are going to continue, and it is worked in the round. This kit has stitch markers in the first stitch that you're going to work in, and then it also has stitch markers in the next 2 subsequent stitches, so you can learn how to identify stitches as you're working. I will also say that they do a good job of describing in the videos what your stitches are going to look like from the outside, so you can identify individual stitches, and they refer to the V as the way to identify the stitches. Now I'm going to pull out these first 2 stitch markers because they are, or these 2 green stitch markers, because I think they're making it hard to see what I'm doing on camera. But you would not want to do that if you were using this kit. Pull that tighter. All right. So it's going to be a increase single crochet on this first row. I'm just following the same instructions that were given in the video that I watched. Well, actually, I should say I did watch several videos. For better or worse, each of the videos is kind of broken down into very short sections, about 20 to 30 seconds long. It is kind of annoying that you're constantly having to forward after each additional step, but I think it can also be very helpful if you want to reference back to a specific step that you don't think you've done correctly. So it can be annoying as you learn more, but I think to begin with, the way that the Woobles company has set up their videos is very nice. Now, it does also say to move your stitch into the first single crochet that you completed. I'm sorry, your stitch marker into the first single crochet that you've completed, so you know when you get to the end. Those are 2. I'm going to do the 12 stitches, and then we'll stop with this Woobles kit for now, and we'll move on to another one of the kits. I don't think all of them come with a pre-start, so it'll be interesting to see how those ones work compared to this one. I will say I'm doing projects right now that are all granny stitch, and because of that, if you see me constantly trying to yarn over, it's because I've been doing double crochets for the last, like, I don't know, 2 months or something. I was doing granny stitch cardigans for my niece and nephew, which are almost done now. And then now I'm working on a granny square hexagon motif that I'll probably show at least on my Instagram at some point in the semi-near future. But, sorry. But, for now it's just in the background. But I've been doing double crocheted granny stitch for a while now, and it's just kind of my muscle memory. That's where it wants to go kind of right away. But anyway, okay, so we've got our 12 stitches. It does not say to join. Like I said, this is a stitch in the round. So I'm going to go ahead and set this one aside. We have an idea now of what the videos are going to look like. It does come with that beginner yarn, which doesn't like my ring so much, but that's fine. And we are increasing. I did take a peek at the next step, and the next step is also an increase, but it is a 1/3 increase instead of a full one, or a 1/2 increase instead of a full 100%. So right now we have 12 stitches. The next increase will bring us to 18. So we're not doing a tube. We're doing more of a bowl style for the head, or for the body of the raccoon. I believe we are working from the bottom up on the pattern, although it doesn't say in the video. And how do I feel about that? I'm not a super fan. I feel like they should tell you kind of where you're starting. It just says that we're starting in the body. And for regular patterns, that would not be uncommon or be something to even question, I don't think. But when you're talking about teaching someone, I think it is important. Just like if we were crocheting a beanie, we would want to know, are we crocheting from top down, or are we going to do the rim first and then move up to the top? The difference between this and a beanie is that we won't know until we're done where we're at, because this is a rounded shape. So we don't know, are we working bottom to top, or are we working top to bottom? I don't know. For me, I think it's just something that they could have added to give people, to let people orient themselves in the pattern. But for now, we're going to set that one aside. I will say I do like the yarn. It is very soft. It did work well. It is that beginner tube style yarn that makes it hard to split. I am going to put their crochet hook back in there. I do like their hook. It does feel nice and strong, and the grip on it was nice and soft. So let's move on. We're going to move on to the cats. And the reason why we're doing the cats, well, there is no particular reason except that they're just so darn cute. Look at those cats. Look at them. So this kit comes with enough yarn to do both black and white cats. I am going to work on the white cat because I think the black yarn is not going to show up nicely on camera and will be a little bit more tedious without my bright lamp shining down. If you remember correctly, this kit did come with 2 hooks, so this is a kit that you could work with a friend. I I'm opening up, I'm going to pull out the white yarn to start. Oh, you can't see that, can you? There we go. Pull out the white yarn to start with, and I'm also going to pull out the instructions. Nope, that's our basic guide. So this must be the instructions. Yep, there we go. Oh, I just showed it on camera. Sorry. Please don't cheat and steal the instructions from there. If you like what you see, I will link all of the kits in the video. So I'm opening up the instructions. And I'm sorry, give me just a second to flip through here to see where we're at. We are working with a cotton yarn on this one, so that is worth noting, I think, because some people, rightfully so, are very interested in preserving the environment and avoiding bringing extra plastics and, more importantly, microplastics into the environment. So if you're looking to learn crochet or pass crochet on to someone and you want to start them with a natural fiber, this comes with a cotton yarn. Now, I'm just scanning the directions right now just to give kind of an overview. And what I'm seeing is that while this kit does come with one of these basic instruction guides that we saw on a few of these, the pattern itself does not include a lot of tips and tricks. It's a very straightforward pattern. Round 1, round 2, make a magic ring, chain 1, single crochet, you know, like all of those things using abbreviations. So you would definitely have to have both booklets with you. But since you do have these booklets, you could work this project on the go. You do not need to have access to internet or anything like you do with the Woobles kit. I'm just checking a couple things. Oh, this is a kit that comes with practice yarn as well for testing. So with that basic guide and this practice yarn, you could practice any number of stitches because of course you can take it out and start over again. So that is a nice touch. I do appreciate that a lot. The only other thing I'm checking before we start here is I am just checking to see if they have tutorial videos. Here we go. The booklet does come with a QR code for pulling up some tutorial videos, and it looks like the videos will go over basic crochet stitches, but not necessarily this pattern. So moving on. Take the sleeve off of the yarn. And let's try to do this without bumping the camera again. I think I've done that about 24 times at this point. All right, so yarn is open. Does have a nice identifiable tail right there. So it's going to be easy to pull that out and start working with it. This is not a center pull ball. So it is going to work from the outside just like our last kit did. Now I will do the same thing. I will work the first first 2 rows of this project the same way that we did with the Woobles kit, because I think that's fair. Of course, the Woobles kit had that first row completed for us, making it a little bit faster. This one's probably going to take another minute or 2, but we'll do our best here. So sorry, I know I keep bumping the camera. I'm testing out a new tripod today, and I'm not liking it. I'm going to be honest with you. It is just a little tedious to work with. In fact, I'm going to try sliding this back just a hair and pulling the instructions off camera. I really need to get better at that, don't I? All right, let's see if that helps. Okay, so we are going to start this. Now I will say this works with a 2.5 millimeter hook, and it is small. It is real small. We are doing single crochets and we're doing 6 into, what did I do here? Okay, hang on. Let's just start that again. We all have, it happens to the best of us. Okay. These hooks are small and the yarn is thin. It does not feel as nice as the, hang on, there. It does not feel as nice as the acrylic from the Woobles kit, I have to say. This just has a little bit of a, I don't know what I'm trying to think of the right word. It feels, I don't think sticky is right. It just feels a little bit unpleasant to touch, which is weird because it's a cotton, and cotton I usually very much like touching. It's very soft, but yeah, just not a fan of the feel of the yarn, but we'll see how it feels as we work through. Could also be, it is very humid here today. So last week, it was, I don't know, 975 million degrees outside. Not really, but close enough. At one point, my car read 117 degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. At one point, my car did read 117 degrees while I was driving home from work, and it felt 100% like 117 degrees. It was super hot. There were no clouds in the sky. We had no rain. We barely had a breeze for the full week. And after having such a mild summer, it was really kind of shocking how miserable it was. But it only lasted a week, which was really nice. I guess this is how it is when you live in other places that aren't Texas. So this week we've actually gotten a huge cool down. The high yesterday, I believe, was 90 degrees. And even better yet, it's been raining intermittently. And today it is actually partly to mostly cloudy outside, which is crazy exciting in my opinion. And whoops. So what was my point? I forgot what I was saying. Oh, my point was it is humid out. Sorry. It is humid out, and so because it is humid, it could simply be that it is humid outside, and that is why it's God, I hit that again. That's why the yarn has such an awkward feel to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Are we gonna go in there? Come on. All right, so the instructions do say to mark your first stitch with a stitch marker. And then we're going to work into that to do an increase. So we're going to go from 6 to 12. And I do not feel that it is unethical to share these first 2 rows with you exactly as the patterns are written, simply because that's not going to get you a whole cat. That's going to get you a very tiny coaster. So, yeah. So we're going to do 12 stitches around. Now, working with this yarn, it does work nice even with this small hook. I will say I tend to add a little bit of extra tension, so I could probably go a hook size up and be a little bit more content, but overall, the yarn works real nice. The instructions are clear if you have a basic understanding, or if you're the type of person who's going to pore over those instructions as you're working, and pour over that quick start guide that it comes with. these instructions are going to work okay for you. And it is nice that it comes with 2 sets or enough yarn for 2 projects, and both of those projects are basically the same. So you are going to get a lot of practice of working in the round. You are going to get a lot of practice of doing your single crochet stitches. I don't know if we get any more advanced than single crochet, but you are going to learn increase, decrease, all of that fun stuff with this kit. So just finishing up this second row, and overall I would say these instructions are okay for a beginner. Not great, but okay. And the only reason I'm going to say not great is because the pattern itself does not provide much in the way of tips or guidance beyond, I hope you read the manual. The manual was, the quick start guide or basics guide, whatever we want to call that, was very helpful. We looked through those on the first video. So if you didn't have a chance to watch that one just yet, you might go back and spend some time watching it just to see kind of where all of these kits started just from the jump. So we have our first round started. We have our stitch marker in the first stitch, 12 stitches around. It is kind of nice that both of these ones so far have been worked in the round, so it is a direct comparison. This one has the thinner yarn. I do not mind working with thinner yarn, but I do find that a lot of beginners prefer something that is worsted weight or heavier because they feel like they can hold on to it better. This is probably going to be closer to a DK, maybe even a fingering weight yarn. I think that also means that we're going to end up with something kind of small at the end of this, because this round is for the head is what we're working on right now, and it only ends up being 48 stitches around. So we are going to end up with 2 tiny cats. But for now, we're going to set this one aside. I'm going to detangle myself from the yarn, and we will move on to another one of the kits. I am kind of making a mess of these kits. That's okay. Thankfully, I'm also creating a video record that I can refer back to if anything gets mixed up or lost. So I'm going to set this one aside, and we are going to move on to this mess back here. And we're going to do the frog from the crochet kit. Again, this one does come with enough material to make all 4. We're only going to work on one, and I believe this is the yarn color that we will need for the frog. I'm going to just dump all of this aside. We're going to grab our hook. We are going to grab our instructions, and this is the kit that had different booklets for each one of the amigurumis. And I do think that's nice because you don't have to carry the full kit with you. If you are working on one of these projects, throw one in your purse, in a bag, and off you go. So I'm going to pull this to the side here. One second. Oh, there we go. So I will say I do like this one, and I don't know that we talked about it in the first video because I don't think we got this far or this in depth, but the instructions have really nice photos. So we were talking earlier about the Woobles kit not telling you if you're starting bottom to top, top to bottom, whatever that is. This is great because it's giving you direct visuals as you're working. You can kind of peek ahead and see where you're at. I also like that it folds up like this, and it's a long piece because I'm going to do this fast. But if you turn it over, see, that's the first part, and then as it unfolds, you get to the next part, and the next part, and the next part. So that is kind of nice. But I'm going to set this off to the side, and hang on. Oh, how funny. Okay, so I was wrong. That is the first part. It's just doing the round, so don't feel bad, but that's the first part. So it starts down there. I was confused when I looked at the instructions. We are working again with a 2.5 millimeter hook, so something thin. but the yarn does look a bit thicker than what we were doing for the cat. Also, I will say this yarn is just not as neat. And you can kind of tell from the mess of a ball of yarn that is. It's just they're not wrapped as neat. And it can be a downside because it's overwhelming. That's one thing I've learned from my students, that messy yarn can be very overwhelming for people that are not used to working with it. So that's a bit of a downside for me. Now, interestingly, this one does not start by working in the round. We are actually going to chain. Does not start by doing a magic circle. We are going to chain and work it that way. So here we go. Again, I will give instructions for round one because I don't think that ruins anything from their intellectual property. And so round one, we're going to chain 5. Does not give direct instructions on what chain 5 means. It does have a QR code for a video tutorial, which I'll pull up in a minute. Oh, sorry, that was my washing machine. So it does have a guide for a video tutorial, which is nice, but it's kind of like the Woobles kit in that, well, now I have to be able to access that guide to understand what it is, what the instructions are that you're giving me. And I'm not sure how helpful that is to someone who's trying to learn a skill that is meant to be kind of small and easy to carry with you, mobile for like crochet. So we are going to do three single crochet. Okay, here's the first instruction. 5 chains, start crochet from second chain. 3 single crochet, 3 single crochet in the same chain, 2 single crochet, 1 increased equals 10 stitches. Three single crochet, 3, okay. 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3. Then it says 3 single crochet in the same chain, but I don't think that's right. I think it's 3 single crochet in the next chain, because we've got 3, 4, 5, whoops. Darn it. Okay, so this yarn also can split because I just did it. Okay, 5, 6, all right, so there's 6, and then 2 single crochet, so 7, 8, and then 1 increase. 9, 10. Okay, gonna say, don't like this kit. Somehow that was a round. Okay, I don't like this kit. I'm gonna tell you right now. So it says that it was a round, which implies to me that we were supposed to work in it implies to me that we were supposed to connect this somehow. And then if I go back and look at it again, it says 5 chains, start crochet from second chain, which sounds like we then work it back. But then if we're working it back, which is what I did, I turned my work and worked back. Well, this is a straight line. This is not a circle. All right, we're gonna go to the next step. 1 increase, 2 single crochet, 3 increase, 2 single crochet, 1 increase. Okay. 1 increase, so that's 2 stitches. 1, 2. Okay. And then 2 single crochets. So that's just 1 stitch in the next 2 single crochets. 1, 2, and then 3 increase. So 1, 2. Now I'm going around to the other side. Okay, well, we're just going to keep working. One, 2, which I know Summer worked this like in the round like this, but this doesn't, the way the instructions are written, it doesn't sound like this is what we're supposed to be doing, but it seems like this is what we're doing. So, and then 3 more, or 2 more, sorry. So that's 3 increase. And then 2 single crochet. 1, 2, and then 2 increase, which I'm assuming means, although I've never seen it written like this, increase here. Well, that's not true. I have seen it written like this. It's just from the jump of that first step, it makes this all very confusing. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's 2 rounds of that one. I can kind of see how, because the picture, it looked like it's more of like an egg shape. And I can kind of see how that's going to happen, but I'll keep going later. I will say this yarn does flow a lot nicer. It is an acrylic. It is applied yarn. And I will say the ply is loose. It's like the individual singles that were plied together are kind of thick, maybe. I don't know. I'm not Not a huge fan of the ply on this, but it is very soft and it does move smoothly through the hook. So definitely right size hook came with it. I will also say it came with a lot of stitch markers in addition to the eyes and the tapestry, the safety eyes and the tapestry needle. And it does not say to add a stitch marker at any time, which, again, if you're trying to learn, this might not be the kit for you. But I'll keep going off camera. We'll come back and see how we're doing. For now, we're going to set this one aside with all this mess that came with it. And we are going to grab, well, I've got 3 more kits to start, and we are already at probably 40 minutes for this video. So I'm going to stop here. I will film another video and I will release it tomorrow that has the other 3 kits, the final 3 kits started, and then we'll do one final video next week. But that way you're not stuck with me for a full 2 hours, and you can come back and take a peek at the next 2 tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that video. As always, please make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel so you can get updates on projects that we're doing or reviews that we're doing, like these ones that we're working on right now. I am also on Instagram at Spin and Die in Texas, and I always post on there when I have released a new video, and I do post upcoming projects that I'm doing, and sometimes just pictures of my adorable dogs and rabbits. So please take a peek over there and give me a follow. All right, well, I'll see you guys tomorrow and hope you're having a great day. Bye.